Walk with intention. This is your reminder to get up, go out and do something, rest, write, run, go for a walk. I'm here with CJ,
Yep.
and today we're going to be asking 14 intentional questions. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's get into it. Question number 1. How are you today and why?
I currently am feeling a little bit tired,
Okay.
a little under the weather.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here with you guys. I haven't seen you guys. We were just saying I haven't been with you guys probably since I was in high school. So I feel really good. Really hopeful for the rest of my day. I think I have a couple things about my day that I got to get done, and ultimately I feel pretty good.
Good. Okay. And also shout out to JD on the camera.
Yeah.
Number 2. What or who lights up your life?
Who or what lights up my life? The first thing I just thought about immediately was probably my mom.
Okay.
I love my mom. She's like my best friend.
Yeah.
And then like what lights up my life? I would probably say church.
Yeah.
I love Jesus. I love people, and I love just getting people together, and just talking about Jesus.
Yeah.
I love community, so that type of stuff really, really brightens up my day.
Okay. So on the side of this,
Yeah.
what do you think the importance of community is?
Man, I think community is like a God ordained thing. I think we need each other.
Yeah.
I think people need each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think community is just like is so much, and it's so important to have friends, to have leaders, and just people in your life that are always just gonna like be there for you, have your back, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. For
That's
sure.
good. I love that. Okay. What would you do if you knew you could not fail?
Man, this is a big one, because I would
Yeah.
say that like for sure something in my life that I've struggled with is like fear of failure. No one likes to fail, right?
No one likes to fail.
So if I could do anything, man, I would probably say I would do more stuff like this. That's why I think it's so cool what you're doing.
Yeah.
Is that I said this earlier, that there's so many like creatives or just people that have really cool, great ideas, but they actually never do it.
Yeah.
It's the execution part that people, or at least myself, tend to hold back from.
Yeah.
And so I think if I could just didn't have any fear of failure, I would just do a lot more things that the Lord puts on my heart and just go after it, like you're doing. So this is really cool.
That's cool. Actually, in the last episode, we had the Josiah. He talked about how he has no fail mentality, and he said he's learning that, but like learning to just when he has an idea or something that's put on his heart, like start executing it, putting the habits and stuff.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, I definitely like this. This was hard.
Yeah.
Because I prefer a personal connection.
Yeah.
But learning how to interact with somebody that I can't see in a room is like it's valuable. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like, whenever the pandemic happened and like churches went virtual, like if you didn't have the ability
people
to connect with your audience, exactly, like you couldn't help people in the current state of like where they were and what they were dealing with. So I value that, and I know definitely like when you take that first step, everything else starts to fall in line.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's what's up. Okay, and next question: are you finding your dream job, or are you creating it?
Man, this is the question that when I watched your last episode,
Yeah,
I even asked myself this, because some backstory is that I went to Bible school. I still believe this, and I still have the passion to preach and to one day be a pastor. But I also have this other side where I love being creative, and I love graphic design, and I love video editing, all that different type of stuff.
Yeah.
And so currently, right now, I work for a church where I do mostly that create the creative side of things, more or less preaching. And so am I The question was, am I living in it or am I creating it?
Are you finding your dream job or creating it? Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like, I think maybe both.
Yeah.
I think these are desires in my heart that really the Lord knows more about.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's now beginning to open doors for them.
Yeah.
And so at the same time, I'm like finding things that I'm falling more in love with.
Yeah.
And then also at the same time, I'm discovering them as it happens. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
So it's like, I feel like it's happening both at the same time, which I really gave this question some actual thought. Because when you asked JD that, I was like, that's a great question. I don't even know the answer. So, but yeah, I think that's probably that would probably be my answer.
That's huge. That's cool. I like that. Yeah. What is it called? A dream. Ecclesiastes 5. I want to say it's 11. Talks about a dream comes about, or 5:3 or something like that.
Yeah.
A dream comes about with much business. But like business is like, it's not just like business, like being in a career or a job.
Yeah.
But business is the idea of like the habit, the practice, like implementing the ideas.
Yes.
Like every time you see a business plan, like anytime Nike or anybody drops an ad,
yeah,
there's all this time and preparation that went into that.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
So that's
awesome.
cool, because as you're evaluating that, you're gonna start getting the strategies and the plans.
Yes.
The God's gonna download.
Yes,
you know?
for sure.
So that's a bar.
That's awesome.
Okay. If you could create a solution to any problem, where would you begin?
I'm gonna think about this one.
Yeah. Okay. Also, how's the lighting so far?
Great.
Awesome.
Man, if I could solve one thing, I don't know. I don't want to make this like a spiritual answer.
Yeah.
But to me, like, God is my everything, and God, like, I need him for everything. And so if I have a problem,
yeah,
I believe that he's my answer.
Yeah.
So if I could solve anything, I think I could just really, if I could just get people to see truly how much God loves them, like,
Yeah.
in just some way, if like God could just like do it to every person, like just like in immediately,
Yeah.
I think like that would be like my heart's desire. Like if I don't know, if that's just like the best way that I can just
Put it.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
Because
valid.
I think there's so much hopelessness in this world, and
Yeah.
I meet a lot of people that they struggle with so many problems,
Yeah.
and I just I wish that my bad guys, we're walking and there's like so many bikers and
That's
stuff.
what I was trying to. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my heart's desire is just honestly probably just that people would know that how much that they are loved by God, truly.
Yeah. No, that's really good. I mean, honestly, I feel like that's where it starts, because our motivation for doing those things is how we feel about ourselves.
Yeah.
So knowing that we're loved, like especially knowing that we're loved by God, knowing our identity
Yes,
and who we are,
yes.
like that changes everything.
Yeah.
And also, to add on to that,
Yeah.
helping people know that they're loved, it gives them a purpose, because you know that you're loved, right?
Yes.
Which makes you want to make other people know that
Yes.
they're loved, right?
Yes.
So it's like this domino effect. It starts with you,
Yeah.
but then it continues to somebody else.
Yes.
And there's actual science that says when you make a positive impact on somebody's life, it changes 4 generations.
Wow.
So 4 generations from the person that you impacted are now changed.
Wow.
Someone's great-great-grandson, great-great-granddaughter,
Wow, that's awesome.
just had a whole different life than what they would have had before that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's wild.
That's awesome.
It's wild work. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. Tell me about a time
Maybe we need to get
that
on
you
this side.
overcame a challenge.
Can I say something that I am still overcoming?
Absolutely.
I said this earlier, is that like I have a passion and a desire to preach and to speak,
Yeah.
but I also I deal with which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I don't like talking in front of people.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get like super like tense and like nervous.
Yeah.
But something that I find, and just actually recently, I had an encounter with the Lord a few weeks back,
Yeah.
where a lot of that fear, I felt really begin to like kind of break off of me.
Yeah.
And I since then,
Yeah.
I actually genuinely have begun to like feel his tangible like presence when I am doing those things.
Wow.
And that story is it's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
That with that encounter that I had, but it's something that I still am like practicing and
Yeah.
continuing. But I will say, since I had that encounter with the Lord, and I really just like gave a lot over to the Lord, I actually have felt more peace in those moments and in those situations.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, actually I had a similar situation where incoming. I had a similar situation where like I like now I kind of like it.
Yeah.
But I started doing spoken word stuff.
Yeah. Which is really cool, by the way.
Yes. And thank you. The first time I did it, I literally was this close to throwing up. I'm like standing on the side. I'm getting ready to go up and like present it. And it was actually at my church. And then something happened when I crossed those stairs, and it was like, okay, I stepped into like a grace or something.
Yeah.
But the second time, I felt that like nervous, my heart's racing, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like I heard that, that still small voice, and God was like, hey, stay with me. Like I'm literally right here with you. And I was like, oh snap, I forgot. Like I'm not doing this on my own.
Yeah.
And so going up there that second time, there was this recognition that I was not on my own. And how do you call it? The job for succeeding wasn't even on me. My job was just to show up.
Wow.
So it's like, it's cool because once you start seeing that and recognizing the presence, you stop thinking like, what if I fail? And you start thinking, wait a second, all I gotta do is show up. I put in the work, I put in the time.
Over and over, yeah.
All I gotta do is go up there and let him do his thing.
Yeah, that's good.
So I love that. I love that. And I'm excited to see where that goes.
Thank you.
Next question is, what does calm mean to you?
What does calm mean to me? Man, when I think of just calm, I actually think of like rest, his grace, his peace. I think calmness doesn't maybe always have to, like, I think maybe when we think of calm, maybe we think of like something like this, outside, like what is around us is like being calm.
Yeah.
When I think of calm, I think of like my spirit, my inside being calm, being restful. Jesus in the storm, he was in the middle of a storm. He was not in a calm situation. But he himself was calm. So when I think of being calm, I think of like this stillness, this restness, this peace, that I think really begins on the inside.
Yeah. That's good. I love that. Yeah. And like one thing I heard Jeremy Pearson's talked about was like God made all of this for us. Right?
Yeah.
But like we live in such a fast-paced environment that we don't often time to look around and be like, thank you. Like he created environments for us to rest, be at peace, be calm.
That's good.
And like oftentimes we're like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do about this? What am I going to do about this? And he's like, look, I take care of the trees. I take care of the, all these things. Like they reproduce.
Yeah.
Like nobody has to come out here and tell the tree regrow.
Yeah.
And you think I won't take care of you? So it's like, this is a constant reminder. And like, I love that you connected those two pieces.
Yeah.
Because all of creation reflects who?
Yeah, exactly, him.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
that's
I
a
love
bar.
that. I love that.
Okay. Next question is, do you embrace or avoid silence?
Hmm. Do I embrace? What's the question one more time?
Do you embrace or avoid silence?
I think I embrace it more than anything.
Yeah.
Um, I find it quite often that like in my time with when I'm praying and just with the Lord,
Yeah.
I'll probably say most of it is just being quiet and just being in silence.
Yeah.
Just listening, trying to calm my thoughts and pray on the inside. Um, yeah, that's I think honestly, I think maybe because of just how much how busy I am, like in my
Hmm.
own life,
Yeah.
there's always quote unquote noise.
Yeah.
Um, I have a mind that goes at 1,000 miles an
Per
hour.
hour. Yeah.
So in those moments, I think I try to embrace it as much as possible, just to get alone with the Lord. Some like no music, and
Yeah.
I'll just sit on the edge of my bed and with my Bible, and I'll just embrace that, that silence, that stillness, that
Yeah.
that calmness that we talked about.
Yeah. That's a bar.
Um, yeah,
That's cool. I love that. Yeah. And you know what's crazy too? Like, I feel like sometimes I realize something. So I'm actually doing like a research thing on silence.
yeah. Okay, cool.
And one of the most like common themes they've all said is the reason why people don't like silence is not because of silence itself, but what it causes you to do. Because
Wow,
silence is a time of reflection.
wow.
So your avoidance of silence is not avoiding being quiet, you're avoiding being alone with yourself.
Whoa,
So
whoa.
so when you say that you
Clip
look
that.
forward to it,
Clip that.
when you say you look forward to it, like that means you've gotten to a place where you actually enjoy that time
Mm,
and you understand the value because that's
yeah,
where you grow. That's where you
yeah,
reset. That's where you set
yeah.
up for the next.
Wow.
So that's
Dang. Dang, Shalom, you're making me feel a lot better about myself. I appreciate
bro,
that.
hey, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Um like I have a friend and she says walks are healing. So
Mm,
this is a healing
I
time.
am healing right now.
Come on. Um tell me no. When was the last time you tried something new?
Dude, this past week. So I I've played guitar for like, I don't know, maybe since I was like 6.
Yeah.
Um, I've played like jazz. I've played obviously in church and like worship music, modern day worship music.
Yeah.
Um, I've played country music. I played
Okay, okay.
with a country band before, folk music, all kinds of stuff.
Wow, okay.
One thing that I have not played before was probably any like hardcore type of like punk or like rock or like
Yeah.
indie. Like
Yeah.
I've never played anything like that. I like that kind of music.
Yeah.
Never really played it before.
Yeah.
I got asked to play with a band, and this
That's
past
cool.
week, and so I was like, I told him, I was like, yeah, man, I'll do it. I was like, I play in church,
Yeah.
so I don't really know if I can maybe sound like that, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
And ended up going out there with them and playing, and it was just so much fun.
Yeah.
I knew one of the guys, and it was also just like a really cool thing too, because like I got to like talk about the Lord with them, and
Yeah.
as we're like rocking out, and so it was really cool. But that was one thing I was a little nervous about,
Yeah.
definitely a little bit uncomfortable, but I did it, and it actually been like it was so much fun. I loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, that's really cool. You have a really diverse experience with music.
yeah. I think it's probably shout out my dad for that one, just because my dad was always putting on different kinds of music, and
Yeah.
he plays music as well too, so he kind of taught me a lot of that type of stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Tell me something you're grateful for.
And grateful for this.
Yeah.
Grateful for beautiful weather. I'm grateful for my family. I think that's the main thing. Grateful for my family and grateful for just had growing up. I'm 22 right now,
Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
so I'm grateful for that. I had praying parents. I know not everybody has that. Not everybody has
Yeah.
a mom and a dad in a home. For me, I did, and I understand that that is a blessing. And I had a family, and I had a praying mother, a praying father. They didn't give up on me.
Yeah.
They prayed me through, and so yeah, I'm just really grateful for my family and for my faith, for sure.
That's awesome. So what does that inspire you, having that, like, seeing that family dynamic?
Yeah,
What does that inspire you to do when you're building your own family?
man, I think just like the number one thing is just like Jesus,
Yeah.
Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Um, he, not I understand that not every family is perfect.
Yeah.
But I also know that, and I have seen this time and time and time again in my life and in my family's life, is that Jesus is our anchor.
Yeah.
And with the highs and with the lows, he's always been faithful in my family.
Yeah.
And with different relationships in our family, different people in my family, with there's all kinds of stuff. Healing in families, bringing families back together.
Yeah.
Particle sons and daughters coming back in the family.
Yeah.
So I just think like just Jesus being the center of my family is something that's just so important. And I think that's the thing is too is like if you have Jesus,
Yeah.
you have love, you have that like you have those things that you need in a family. You know.
Definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's just like the number one thing.
Yeah.
For me.
That's really cool. Okay. That's awesome. Okay. Who is your role model?
Shalom is my role model. I'm just kidding.
Oh man. No.
No, you're sick though.
Thank you, bro.
JD is also one of my role models.
Shout out.
Dude, who's my role model? I don't think I like have a role model. If you would have asked me this at 16, I probably would have like told you like John Mayer was my role model. But dude, I don't know. Maybe like I think some of my role models are just like ordinary men in my life that are just great leaders, great fathers, great husbands, great friends, successful at what they do, consistent at what they do. There's a few people and few men in my life that I think about. I'll just say one. I think about my pastor, who's also my uncle. I love him. He's probably one of the most consistent people. That's like the best word I can describe him as. Is he is just consistent.
Through.
And yeah, there's so many. I mean, growing up, my dad was like my biggest role model ever. My cousins, other leaders, yeah, so many. But I think as just a 22-year-old young dude, I would say just like men that are just great husbands and great fathers, and yeah.
That's really good. You know, when I moved to Texas, the to reiterate your point, when I moved to Texas, at the time I had some negative views on like marriage and all of that, just because of like how I'd seen my dad kind of walk out certain things. And like, great guy. He just made some choices.
Totally.
And so I genuinely, anytime I saw a married couple, I was like, oh, it's just a matter of time before this happens or that happens, or whatever, right? And one of the things that helped me was watching and seeing men around me who loved their life well, loved their wife well. Because looking at that, seeing them love their wives, seeing them love their kids, I was like, wait a second, maybe my perspective is distorted. Because they really look like they're doing the thing. They really look like they care. They're involved. And I just remember there was one night where I was looking at two pastors and they were there with their wives. And I was like, maybe maybe it's not what I thought it was. And like that
Wow.
thought broke after that.
Wow.
I never had another, well, that's going to happen or this is going to happen. Because
Wow.
I came to the realization, if they can love their wife like this,
Yeah.
then anybody can.
Yeah. Totally.
So
how old were you?
I was probably 16.
Wow.
So that was huge because I don't know where I would be right now
Yeah.
if that perspective hadn't
Totally.
flipped.
Yeah.
So
wow. That's awesome.
Huge. Like the people who are doing life at a level that you want to one day do it.
Yeah.
That it gives you vision.
Yes.
A hope.
Yes.
An
For
expectancy.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I love that.
So next, what makes you you?
Oh man. What makes me me? I'm gonna give one answer. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I'm gonna give two answers.
Yes, sir.
One of them is gonna be the spiritual one, and then I think another one is just going to be just something,
Yeah.
whatever. Jesus.
Jesus. Okay.
Jesus saved my life.
Yeah.
Jesus changed my life.
Yeah.
He has rewired me.
Yeah.
And so who I am today is not because of anything else but Jesus.
Yeah.
I know to some that might be like hard to understand. But when you have experienced him and his saving grace, like I have, there's no other answer but him.
Yeah.
So I would say Jesus, but if I was to give a second answer, what makes me me? Dude. Bro, I have no idea. Probably like music.
Music.
To me, growing up, music was like was such a inspiration for me. Like if I wanted to whether it was like how I was gonna dress,
yeah,
how I was gonna talk,
yeah,
how I was gonna go about my day with like a certain attitude,
yeah,
it would usually stem from like the music.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah, nowadays music doesn't really have that effect on me. I think I've kind of matured in just of like who I am. But when I was younger, music was like
the thing.
Yeah, for sure. Like if I like wanted to like dress like I was like a rapper, I would like listen to like rap music. Or like if I wanted to dress like I was like a mysterious walker in like New York City, I would like put on like I don't know, like Bob Dylan or something, and I would like like this. Yeah, this is giving Bob Dylan music in my head. Yeah, like this is something I would listen to, or that's something I would listen to. Yeah, so like stuff like that. I don't know. That's just kind of how like my brain works.
That's cool though, because number one, you said Jesus, and Jesus changes your whole life, right? Yeah. But number two, you also said music, and music and gratitude are the two of the things that light up your whole entire brain. Wow. A lot of other things light up different sections. Yeah. But music and gratitude light up every part of it. Wow. So it's like, it's cool because if you think about it too, right? In heaven, what are they always doing?
Worshiping.
They're always, got music on 24/7.
Yeah. Wow.
It's the presence that God surrounds us with.
Wow.
So it's like, there's something to music. And like,
no, totally.
Yeah. And it takes you back to where it was made. Yeah. So like whatever environment, like whenever you put on a song, like you feel whatever the musician felt. Totally. So yeah, that's cool. I like that. Yeah. Okay. This one's, I kind of like this question because people have very different answers to it. Yeah. But how do you treat people who can do nothing for you?
How do I treat people? Do you want to turn around?
Yeah, let's turn.
Can you ask the question one more time?
How do you treat people who can do nothing for you?
You treat them like they can do everything for you.
Okay. Explain.
I think you treat them. Oh, man, I'm gonna butcher this quote, so you can definitely probably cut this out. But
no, say
it's something I heard that like you don't treat someone to their. You don't treat like if I'm a leader and I have like an employee, I don't treat them to like their value of today.
Yeah.
I treat them to of where they want to be someday.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's true.
So, yeah, I mean, because I think with that, there's so much like empowerment, grace, love. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. I like that. You don't treat people where they're at, you treat them where they want to go.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. That's a bar. Okay. We've reached the finale, the final question.
Okay.
Here it is. True or false? Rest is important. Why or why not?
Trust is super important. As JD is about to get run over. JD is sorry, not JD. Shout out JD, man.
Shout out JD.
Rest is super important. And
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be honest, I don't take this very often.
Yeah.
I should. I
Yeah.
really, really should. I'm just not the best at it.
Yeah.
I should get out like on a Saturday morning and go for walks in a park and stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't. The times and in the weeks that I do, and I find those moments and in those time slots to find rest.
Yeah.
Away from like my quiet time with the Lord, like just
Yeah.
like stuff like this.
Yeah.
I find that I just feel so much rejuvenated at the end of my week. So yeah, super duper important in all aspects of life, in my spiritual health, my mental health, my physical health. I think it's just super duper important.
That's good. I love that.
I should do it more, but I don't.
But like, one of the things I learned is in busy seasons, it's important to like find a way to fit, like if you need to redefine rest for your season. So
that's good too. For
an example, all it takes to like refresh your brain, rejuvenate your energy, and actually regain focus is a 5 to 60 minute break. So like think like 5 minutes, that like 5 minutes is like I gotta keep cranking. 60 minutes or an hour is like, okay, I can squeeze an hour in. And then what you do in that time period, it doesn't have to be go for a walk. It can be anything, stretch, stand, whatever. Just finding something that makes rest a part of your day. Like sometimes I feel like as people we can be all or nothing. But there are ways to like break a thing down. Terry Savelle Foy calls it reduce it to the ridiculousness in her last book, The Alone Advantage. So it's like locking in and finding how can I shrink this to a sizable chunk that I can do on a repeated basis. You know? And then there'll be another season where I can do more of this. But for now, I'm gonna find a way to incorporate it into my daily life.
That's good. That's really good.
That's cool. I like that you put in that like it refreshes you, because it really does. Like
totally.
You know, the JD said in his episode, like the whole idea of like I'll rest when I'm dead, like that is stupid. Because it's like you will get there much quicker. If you don't rest.
If you don't rest.
Exactly. So I love that, and thank you for coming out.
Bro.
Like this has been
it's
Walk
been
with
fun.
Intention. It's been fun. It's been great. Thank you, CJ.
Of course.
And we'll see you next time.